You ever watch something break in slow motion, even though you warned everyone it was gonna happen? Yeah, that's what this story is. I retired thinking I was done with disaster. 37 years in civil engineering, you'd think I'd earned a little peace. Bridges, levees, drainage networks, I'd built things to withstand hurricanes. But nothing prepared me for a footbridge and an HOA president named Karen. I moved to Willow Creek Lane right after my wife, Margaret, passed. She'd always dreamed of a house with wraparound porches, trees that whispered at night, and a creek out back. I figured I'd settle into something quiet, something she would have loved. Turns out, it wasn't the creek that would flood, it was the bush. About a month in, I'm walking my dog past the old wooden footbridge behind the tennis courts. The thing had been chewed up in last year's flood and somehow still stood, barely, when I see big trucks pull in. Cement mixers, dumpers, guys in hard hats tossing steel bars like they are setting up a skyscraper. And standing right in the middle, yelling into a walkie like she's commanding an airstrike, was Karen Metz, president of the HOA, lipstick like war paint, clipboard clutched like a Bible. I smile, wave, ask, new bridge. And she looks at me like I just asked if she sells Avon. Of course. Didn't you read the newsletter? No. I missed it. I glance at the materials, ask, who's the structural engineer? And I swear to God she says, Creekburn Development. They did the clubhouse repaint. I just kind of stared at her. They do bridges? I ask. She shrugs. It's just a footbridge. That line, just a footbridge, echoed in my head like a warning shot. See, water doesn't care if it's a footbridge or a freeway, it'll destroy it just the same. Especially when the base is clay and the elevation's wrong. That night, I looked up Creekburn. They want license for structural projects. One of their past bridges had collapsed. I'm talking broken bones, lawsuits, the whole thing. So I brought it up at the next HOA meeting, came in with charts, data, code violations, even a weather forecast showing a heavier storm season coming. I told them, plain as day, this bridge ain't safe. Karen smiled, said, thank you for your passion, and moved on like I just complained about mailbox paint. 2 days later, I got a warning letter for disruptive behavior. That's when I knew. This wasn't about safety. It was about power. So I documented everything. Took photos, tracked rainfall, measured footings, logged shifts in the support pylons. Every morning, I walked that site like it was my job. They thought I was a bored old man with too much time. But I'd seen bridges fail. Hell, I testified after one fell in Carthage County. Water doesn't argue, it just wins. But it wasn't just me. My neighbor Henry, a retired math teacher, the kind of guy who calculates tips to the decimal, leans over the fence one day and says, didn't those contractors have legal trouble? I nodded. And no licensed engineer on record. He just whistled. That's gonna end well. The bridge went up fast, too fast. Rebar rusting in open air, no moisture barriers on the concrete, beams placed so low they'd basically catch debris like a net when the creek rose. And guess what? No county inspection. Nothing. I filed a report. Then another. Then I got another letter, not about the bridge, but about my garden norms. Said they violated the HOA's visual standards. Margaret had picked those norms. Perez, Santa Fe, Kyoto, each one a memory. That one cut deep. This wasn't just oversight, this was a message, back off. But I didn't. And just when I was starting to feel like a crazy old man yelling into the wind, I met Sarah. New in town, early 40s, worked remotely as a structural designer. She stopped me by the mailbox, raincoat dripping, and said, I've seen the bridge. You're not wrong. It's unstable. We walked the creek together. She pointed out spalling concrete, misaligned joints, sealant peeling off exposed steel. She even wrote an affidavit. We compared everything, sent it to the county. Still no word. Until the storm came. It hit hard. Creek swelled overnight. I was up at 2 a.m. when I heard it, not wind, not thunder, but a groan. Like the earth shifted. I ran outside and there it was. The bridge hadn't fallen but it was leaning. Debris smashing into its belly. One side visibly sunk. I stood there till dawn, soaked, watching that thing breathe, flexing like it wanted to give out. The county inspector showed up that weekend. Name was Kinley, used to be a junior guy in my department. We locked eyes across the lot, gave each other that silent nod, not of friendship, but recognition. He tried to approach the bridge. Karen blocked him. I watched the whole exchange from a distance, her, flustered in the wind, binder clashed like armor, trying to spin the narrative. He didn't bite. That same night, I got another letter. This time hand-delivered. You're no longer allowed at HOA meetings. Just like that. Silenced. But then came the twist. Sarah, bless her, brought me a USB. Her backyard cam had caught it, during a light storm the week before, the bridge moved. Breathing in and out like a lung under pressure. It was terrifying. We sent the footage straight to Kinley. And wouldn't you know it, that night, Karen showed up at the bridge. In the rain. With 2 board members. No gear. Just desperation. I watched from behind the caution tape. Then I saw it, the western pylon shift. A crack, loud and brutal. They ran. The middle beam dropped with a crunch, holding just enough to not fall but enough to prove everything we'd said. Next morning, video footage went viral. Willow Creek Bridge collapses 2 weeks after completion. Karen became a meme. The county launched a full investigation. The engineer listed on the permit had been dead for 2 years. Forged signature. Fraud. The contractor vanished. Mid-county projects. License pulled. Gone. I was asked to testify. This time, I wasn't dismissed. I was heard. The HOA dissolved. A new board was formed and they asked me, Sarah, and Henry to help rebuild. Not just the bridge, but trust. Real engineers. Real permits. Transparent votes. I said yes. Not because I wanted power but because I knew what happened when people stopped listening. 6 months later, the new bridge opened. No ribbon. No press. Just neighbors walking across, quiet, cautious, grateful. And me. I stood at the middle, looked down at the water low and clear again and placed a smooth stone on the railing. One I'd pulled from the creek bed near the old pylon. Not for spite. For remembrance. Because now when people say it's just a footbridge, they remember. So what do you think? Should Karen face charges for ignoring all the warnings? Or is she just another HOA leader who got in too deep? Let me know in the comments, because sometimes, the real flood isn't the water, it's the silence.